Welcome everyone to New HD NYC with your host Ray K, available on all major podcast platforms and powered by New HD Media. Now here's your host, Ray K.
Hey guys, it's Ray K here. I have a special guest in the studio, and we're going to talk about a lot of cool things, including a children's book, and we're going to introduce a character called Sal, and it's kind of taken off, and we're proud to have Andre Ginnane with us. Andre, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you so much, Ray. Thank you. I appreciate being here.
Well, you're welcome. I mean, thanks for coming on again. And tell us about the COVID-19. And just want to, it might be a once in 100-year thing. What's it like where you are now with this?
Well, I will tell you that I hope it's a once in a lifetime thing.
Yes.
Actually, here, I think that everyone is kind of settling in to all of the new routine and everything, and yet everybody seems to be somewhat frustrated by it all as well. I know that for me, I was going out reading children's books and doing things like that. And so with COVID, it has really slowed down a lot of that. And so I'm really ready for us to get that past us so that we can get back to our normal behaviors.
Okay. Now tell us, Andre, about the Sal series, The Adventures of Sal, and these two new, books that just came out recently. Tell us, I want you to tell us about it.
Okay, absolutely. Well, I'm really excited about the series. It's called The Adventures of Sal, and it features a little boy named Sal, and he moves into a new neighborhood, and he meets a little friend, John David, and from there they are just, from one adventure to the other, exploring the neighborhood. With the books, there will be other characters that will be introduced as Sal meets new friends and finds new and fun and exciting adventures. Right now, I've written 4 books in the series. The very first one is an activity book, and basically it features activities, and for every activity, there's sensory activities. And so the children get to touch and feel different objects related to the story as they read through it. The second book is a little book about Sal's parents, telling him that they're going to be getting a new house. And he then learns that mommy's going to live in one house and daddy's going to live in the other. And so all of the stories are very relatable, and it's called 2 Houses, 2 Rooms, 1 Love, because he comes to realize that one thing that did not change at all, and that's the love that his parents have for him. The third book features a little boy that is in a wheelchair that he calls his superhero mobile, which is the name of that book. And it's a really fun story. And then the fourth one is called The Pet Playground in the Sky, and Sal gets a new pet. And it's all about responsibility and all the things that go along with a pet. But the series features activities that are a storyline that is very familiar. They're universal and relatable stories and adventures that the children go on.
Okay. The first one you mentioned, is that more geared toward, I know sensory, some kids have problems with sensory issues, especially people on the autism spectrum. Was that geared to that at all, or just in general, with feeling things? And just the first book you mentioned, just out of curiosity, does that have anything to do with that?
It really does. It does. Absolutely. Because I want the books to really be inclusive of children of all abilities. And so the sensory activities, I think, are a lot of fun for children that perhaps are on the spectrum. They're fun for all children, but I think that I did have children with needs or special needs and abilities in mind when that book was written.
Okay. Now, how did Sal come up, Andre? How did this all happen, and how long ago? Tell us about the birth of Sal.
Okay. Well, my son, Kai, is my inspiration for the books.
Okay.
And the very first one started, he asked me, he was having a birthday party and he wanted to have it at home. And I thought, well, okay, if we're going to do that, then I need to come up with an activity, something that will be fun for the children to do. So I did some research and I could not find anything that fit the bill of what I was looking for. I wanted something that was fun, that was entertaining, something that would capture the children's attention and then maintain their attention. And I couldn't find anything that I thought would really do that. So I decided to create my own adventure, and I came up with The Adventures of Sal, the first book. And of course, my son had just a friends that were various ages and various abilities there at the party, and I wanted something that was all inclusive. And so I came up with that book. The children absolutely loved it, and so did the parents that were there. And from there, they were asking me about a second story. And as I started to look into writing the second book, I came up with all of these other fantastic ideas and decided to make it a full series.
Okay. Now, your background, Andre, are you a writer or tell us about that leading up to when you discovered this great character, Sal. Like what is your
Okay.
background? Yeah.
Well, my background is I was an insurance and financial services executive
Oh, okay.
with a Fortune 50 company, and I had been doing that for 20 plus years. And again, really hadn't set out when I wrote the first story, did not really set out to be an author. I was just doing it as a fun thing for my son, but I absolutely love children. I love being a mom. I love watching my son experience life. So when this opportunity presented itself, it just seemed like a very natural fit, and I am enjoying every minute of it.
Now, are you still doing the financial services business, or are you like fully into this now, or do you do both?
I am fully into this now. I do some consulting work from time to time. When I get calls, I will step in and do that. But right now, I've kind of retired from that, and this has become
Okay.
my full time feature.
Okay. Wow.
Yes.
So it's kind of like like you work hard, now you got your dream type job. Was that what you
Absolutely.
thought? Okay.
That is
Okay.
exactly right. I did. I worked really, really hard in my career, accomplished a lot, and now I get a chance to follow my passion, which is children and entertaining them. So yes, it
Okay.
feels really good to have that option.
How did you get the name Sal? I mean, that's an interesting name. It's sort of like a normal type name, but it's a little different. You think of some Italian kid, Sal. It's sort of like a
Mhm.
Bob type name. I mean, how'd you get that name?
Well, I'm going to tell you, I really wish that I had some great, interesting story about how that happened. But when I started to write this book, my son's name has three letters. His name is Kai,
Okay.
and so in the book, in the first book, it is the mom telling him to be careful. It's the underlying message is safety, and so I wanted a book where the mom was going to be whining, and if I used his name, it would be Kai. But I didn't want it to be his name since I was going to be reading it at the birthday party. I wanted to read it and have him catch on as I was reading that it was about him. And so Sal just seemed like, I don't know if it was because there were three letters, but the name Sal just came to me, and I put it in the book, and it worked really, really well for the whining Sal. And so I thought it was really cute. And it has been probably the best thing. The children love the name. All the kids can say Sal, and they really have caught on to that name and seem to love not only the character, but also the name.
Now, during these times, it seems like it's not only COVID-19, it's some interesting times, in general. And this character seems to like connect pretty well of sort of kind of what we need, like this all inclusiveness, this guy, this boy that learns, that is exploring, mother's watching out for him. I mean, he seems to come from an interracial family. Is that correct?
That is correct. That is
Okay.
correct.
Okay. Now it's taken a long time to get here. It seems. Are there any other Sal characters, or why did it take this long to come up with this kind of character? Do you think?
Yeah. Well, I definitely feel like there's a need for the character. And you mentioned kind of the times that we're in, which are certainly interesting. But with Sal, the storyline, all of the books are really universal and relatable experiences. And so I hope to show through these books that we're so much more alike than we are different. And I don't really know what took so long to come up with the character, but I do really feel like that we needed one. And I know that whenever I read the books to children, I love seeing everyone in the room light up when we're talking about, riding your bicycle or playing video games, or, mom telling you pick your shoes up or don't forget to wear your helmet, and just all of the other things that I'll be covering in the books that have to do with, getting a new pet, or, a doctor visit, or bullying, just all of the things that are relatable and universal. And I really hope that through these books that it will remind parents and the children that we are, again, so much more alike than we are different. And I think that's needed. We need to come back to that.
Mm-hmm. Now, Andre, what were your cartoon favorites? I mean, did you have an inspiration in the cartoon world, or tell us about that? I mean, did you like what did you like growing up?
Well, it's so interesting. My sister and I were having this conversation here recently that I was the kid in our family that loved cartoons. I mean, Saturday morning, I was up, I was the first one up always, and I watched cartoons. I mean, from the time they came on Saturday mornings, throughout the rest of the day, because during the week there was so many other things going on. But that Saturday we were free to do that, and so I always loved cartoons, and all of them really. I liked all of the classics, the Looney Tunes and Fred Flintstone and the superheroes. But perhaps that is what gave me the imagination that I have for children's books and everything. But yes, I was definitely uh, love cartoons growing up.
Okay. Whatever was this? Were you a 70s child or 80s or what, what was your era?
Gosh, I really don't even want to say. I'll say 70s to 80s.
Okay, okay, okay. That was mine too, so you could say that, Um, I saw your YouTube, videos, and they're pretty impressive stuff, and, tell us about your artist. You're not the artist, right? You have another artist that does the artwork.
Right, I am not
Okay,
the artist, and I
okay.
would agree. The artist is amazing, and I published with Yorkshire Publishing, and they put me in touch with this artist. And again, I have cartoon trailers for each of the books, and also the illustrations there in the books. And the artist has done an amazing job of finding characters that children can really connect with. And really, I love the cartoons. I like to be able to show them the book trailers to children when I'm going in to read to them at schools and everything. I really enjoy them being able to see a preview of what they're going to be getting in the story.
Okay, okay. Now, what do you
Mhm.
hope Andre to achieve with the story? I mean, there's been some iconic, characters for kids, in books. And, this looks like it might be, on its way because I wanna talk to you a little bit about a potential Hollywood, situation. But, where do you hope this goes? I mean, I guess it's a universal audience to everybody, parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, kids. I guess even adults could just, read this on their own and learn from it. Like, is that what it is? Or where do you hope this goes? What's the future of Sal? What's your vision?
Absolutely. I want to have, I would love to see Sal become a series, like a go-to series that whenever a child is experiencing anything, there's a Sal book about it. If the child is experiencing bullying at school, there's a Sal book about that. If they need a book for a birthday party that's just fun, there's a Sal book there. Or, safety. If their parents are going to be getting two houses, there's a Sal book. So that's what I just want it to be. Nutrition. I mean, the list goes on and on, but I'd like for a child to be able to pick up a Sal book and read it, and it be relatable, regardless as to whether they're going through the situation at the time. But it's just something that either they have, or perhaps they will experience, or have a friend that has experienced.
So it's a modern version of everything that could happen in childhood these days. Basically, is the ultimate vision. I mean,
That's
bullying.
exactly right.
You know, uh, do the initial books deal with bullying at all? 'Cause I know that's a big issue in schools. Or is that still in the future? Or tell us about the first couple books that are just out and what's in those.
Yes, and so the bullying book is coming. That one isn't out yet, but I
Okay.
have I'm in the process of finishing that one up. Uh, and but the books again, the first one is an activity book, and it's just fun. It's just fun. It's about safety. At the end of the book, the children, they're the message is safety and being sure that whenever you're outside playing, that you're wearing your shoes or that you wear your helmet and those type things, and that you don't play with sticks around your eyes and different things. The second book just has to do again with the parents. They're going to have two houses, and just them explaining to Sal that some of the differences or the similarities in both houses. He'll have two houses, two rooms, but assuring him that he will have that one love from his parents always, regardless as to the living circumstances there. And then the one with the little boy in the wheelchair, I want to be sure that there's acceptance. And Sal, he has so much fun with Sal and the friends. And I want children that when they see a child, perhaps in a wheelchair, that what they see when they see that is that, oh my goodness, he has a superhero mobile. Because in the book, they all want superhero mobiles and they have various ones. And so that's a lot. Sal learns that his bike can actually be his superhero mobile. And then with the pet playground in the sky, Sal wants a new pet, and he initially wants a dog, like a lot of children do. And he and the mom start to talk about the responsibilities that go along with having a pet and having him have different conversations with his friends about the pets that they have and all that they have to do to take care of it. And then he eventually settles in on a pet, keeps the pet for a while, and eventually the pet goes to the pet playground in the sky. So it's a it's a fun story. All of the stories are extremely fun. The children will have a ball with them, but they do have underlying messages with life lessons in them.
And what kind of boy is Sal? I mean, is he a quiet kid? Is he outgoing? Is he sensitive? Like, how do you describe Sal?
Sal is he is an explorer kind of a child. He loves everybody. He chooses his friends based on their commonalities, without regard to their ethnicity or their abilities, whether that be physical or mental. He is just all about meeting everybody, having a good time, and just he's adventurous. He's an adventurous little boy.
It's almost like the ultimate kid, really. It sounds like, right? He's like the kind of boy you want to have as a friend. Is that right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And I think that that's what I want kids to pick up from it. And it's actually inspired by my son. And I really loved watching him, and still love, but him grow up, and the way that he selects his friends has just always fascinated me. He could, if he has anything at all in common with them, if they like the same color, and children are like that, it's like your name starts with the same letter that my name starts with, or you like the color red and I like the color red, or you have a ball and I have a ball. And from there, they can pick up and just carry on and be the best of friends. And so that is kind of what these books are. It's Sal, and I want Sal to be every kid's best friend.
And how old is Sal? Like, what age? What age? Would
Sal is about 6. He's about 6 to 7 years old.
Okay. So you're
Yes.
dealing with, I guess, 6 or 7-year-old kid issues. I know as you get older, you get the peer pressure. I mean, is Sal going to grow up, or is this going to be Sal? It's sort of a younger kids type way of going through life. Then is that right?
Mhm. Yes, and the books are anywhere from 0 to about 12, actually. The kids will get the messaging and find them fun. That's what they are designed for. But absolutely, I could see at some point Sal growing up. But right now, there's so many stories that I want to tell from this vantage point that Sal will probably be at this age for a while. But my son, as he has continued to grow, I definitely have some additional ideas and things that I can do about Sal growing a little bit older, and different life lessons.
Excellent. Andre, I want to get into our hit and miss or word association. I want to talk about this Hollywood thing that came up, and this is exciting, because if you make it, I can say I interviewed Andre. I mean, so this is cool stuff when I hear this, and I want to hear about where you could get the book and all that. All right,
Okay.
ready? Word association. First word that comes to your mind. Ready?
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
What is your favorite color?
Green.
Okay. Now, does that have to do with money? Being in the
I've
financial
never thought
business?
about it like that.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
I
Okay.
just love the color green.
Okay. Okay. Andre, if you were in a foxhole, now, other than any family members in the foxhole, who would you have in the foxhole with you?
Oprah Winfrey.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, I got it. That's the first Oprah I got. Like, is it because
Well,
of the
I
book?
am a huge I've just always been a huge Oprah fan. I'm probably I won't say the only person, because I'm sure many people have done it, but I have watched every one of her shows that she did for 25 years. So I just love her. I think that she would be the most amazing person to have a conversation with. I think that her whole message is about believing in who you are and the talents that you have, and just being yourself. And I love her. So I would love to have a conversation with her.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, that's great. And I mean, I thought too because she had the book reviews, right?
Yes, absolutely.
That would have been a
She
pretty
does.
another reason. Um,
Yes,
right now, if
absolutely.
you were on a desert island, now, which music CD or album or download would you bring with you? 3 years, beautiful 85-degree weather. You're in this island. What music do you bring?
Oh my goodness.
How's that?
Now that'll be a tough one because I love music and I love all genres of
You could
music.
bring a couple if you love it. You can bring a couple. So
Okay, so I
one
would
or
bring
two.
something
Yeah.
big band. So I love Diane Shore, and her my favorite one is her CD with the Count Basie Orchestra. So I would have her. I would have probably Sade, some of her easy listening music. I love Erica Badu. Oh my goodness, the list goes on and on
Okay.
because
So
I
you
really
have
do. I
like a whole
love
bunch of compilations of music in there. Okay. Okay. Now,
absolutely.
what is your favorite movie?
My favorite movie, oh goodness, I like Shawshank Redemption. And I
Oh,
loved it because it was suspenseful, and had the twist at the end. So that one stands out to me
what was your favorite
as a
part in
favorite.
that movie? What was your favorite
Uh,
part?
I think just the twist at the end, just following the story and thinking one thing and it's going to end one way, and then having it just flip at the end, and you're like, oh my goodness, where did that come from? I never would have imagined. So
That's interesting story too. If that is 99% true, it's interesting little I guess it's informative on the justice system back then or
mhm,
now or I mean you could learn a lot by watching that movie. It's not just entertainment, right? You could pick up
right,
a lot of things.
absolutely.
Who's your favorite actor?
Um, oh my goodness. Favorite actor. Who would my favorite actor be? Taraji Henson.
Okay. If you were given advice or what is the best advice that you have ever given or that you would give to somebody?
Um, I think that the fact that there are no mistakes in life, that every path that you take, and of course, this is inspired by Oprah, but she says that every path that you take in life it's designed to take you to your ultimate destiny. And if you make a left as opposed to a right, then that left, there are some life lessons that you have to learn along the way, but it's all designed to put you back on the path of your ultimate destiny. And so I think that just knowing that there are no mistakes, whenever things happen, learn from them and continue to move forward.
Is that along the lines of everything happens for a reason to keep it simple, that kind of thing?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that, no matter what the circumstances are, if you look for the learning in it, it makes it a lot easier to accept if it's something that you're not necessarily excited about going through. But as long as you know that there's a life lesson and you're looking for that lesson, it keeps you positive and moving forward.
Nice. Okay. Now, other than Oprah, if you had to meet one person in the world tomorrow or any biblical figures, one person tomorrow, I'm a genie, I'm going to grant you this wish. Who would it be, alive or dead? It can be anybody tomorrow. Who would it be, Andre?
Oh my goodness. I would have to say Jesus. It
Okay.
would be. I mean, that would be the ultimate meeting, right? To
Good.
yeah,
Okay. Now,
to
let me
have
let
some
me change it.
questions there.
Someone that was born after 1600, who would you meet?
Who would I meet? Oh goodness, let's see. That is a good question. Oh my goodness.
You can come back to it. You don't have to give
Yeah,
it.
let's come back to
Get
that
to
one
it.
because I have a few people in mind, but yeah, let's come back to that one.
All right. Now, this is a good one too. Now, if you had one wish in the world tomorrow, Andre, and I'm going to grant the wish, what would your wish be? In the whole world tomorrow, this will come true. What would it be?
Um, Peace, peace and unity. It would be to have everyone get along in the world, and just peace and unity is what I would wish for this world, for my son, who for myself, and I would want that for my son and just all the children in the world. I just think about if they could grow up in a world where everybody really just got along, everybody looked out for each other and really wanted the best for each other, what a wonderful place that would be. So
That
that
would be like a heaven thing. Do you think we'll ever get there or close
I
to that?
think so. Perhaps I'm always overly optimistic, but I absolutely think that we will. Yeah, I
Wow.
think that we will.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
I like that world. Yeah.
yeah.
Now, Andre, the Hollywood. I'm hearing this that Hollywood has come calling. Or tell us about this potential. I mean, this is exciting to me. I mean, that must be the ultimate dream is to have your book picked up by Hollywood, right, and be presented into the big screen movie. Tell us about
Yes,
that. Tell us about
yes.
that.
Oh my goodness. Well, it's really
If you
exciting.
can, if you can. Okay. I don't know if this is like, non-disclosure stuff, but if you could tell us,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah, well, there are things, of course, that I can't talk about, but to have Sal be considered for a cartoon series is just the most amazing and wonderful thing. The thought of all children all over the world being able to get to know Sal and enjoy Sal and the adventures with him it just makes me really excited. Having been a cartoon fanatic at some point and growing up and seeing my son enjoy different cartoons and everything, just to have Sal be in that arena is amazing. To know that Sal could potentially touch that many children.
Okay. Now, is this something that can realistically happen in a couple of years? I know it takes time, right, for this thing to happen, for this kind of thing
It's
to happen.
Yes, it takes time. It takes time,
Okay.
but yeah, definitely within the next few years, it certainly could happen.
Now, Andre, we were talking earlier about the books. Can you show our viewers and not listeners, the viewers, the book covers? I know you showed it a couple earlier. I like to, show them what it looks like. It's very clever.
Absolutely, absolutely. So this is the first book. This is the one that started everything. This is The Adventures of Sal. It's the activity book that children really went crazy for. This is the book that I shared with you about Sal and his parents, and it's two houses, two rooms, one love, and that's Sal with both his parents.
Now, Sal's parents, of course, are not together, right, or married, or
Right.
we have to read the
Well,
book for that. Okay.
you have to read the book, yeah. And in the
Okay.
book, I don't really go into details as to what the circumstances are because I hope that parents will be able to use this book to have that discussion with their children. It could be that the parents, one parent works in a different city, or perhaps they have a parent who's in the military and is just stationed somewhere else. So I just leave that for the parents to kind of explain what's going on there.
Okay.
And then this book is the superhero mobile. And this is the one about Noah. And that is his superhero mobile on the front. And then this is the fourth book. And this is the pet playground in the sky. So you get a
Uh,
chance to see all of the little pets at the pet playground.
Now, is that to ease the pain of when a child's pet goes into the playground? I mean, that's always a tough, traumatic situation. Is that
Mhm.
what that is about then? So, I mean, we used
It
to call it
is.
dog heaven, when I was a kid. I mean, Playground in the Sky, I like that better. Is that what that book is about all the animals and life keeps going and they're still with you? I'm just
It
thinking that's that
It
kind of thing.
is. It
Okay.
is. My son, when he wanted a fish, and we got the fish, but the fish don't have a long lifespan. And immediately when we got the fish, I started to think, oh my goodness, what he loves this fish. What's going to happen if something happens to this fish? How will I explain that to him and have him understand grief, but have him understand it from a child's perspective, where it's not sad, and you'll miss the fish, but it gives him a different perspective. And so that is exactly what that book is.
Oh, wow. Okay. So,
Mhm.
hey, this is great stuff. And at the 6-year-old to 6 to 10, 12, it's a great thing too, where the parent could read the book to the child, right? And I know, yeah, I have a couple of kids now. They're getting a little older, but they're still a young one. And you read to the child, and their imagination just goes crazy. More so than probably if they read the book, right? I mean, this is even more for parents to be able to read at nighttime to your kids. Is that
Absolutely.
a part of it? Okay. Okay.
Absolutely, and that's what I really want is the parent-child interaction, I think is amazing. There are children that read the book, that can very well read the books on their own, but so it's hopefully it will give the parents and children some time together, and then there'll be other children that will want to read it on their own. And the books are also interactive, so it allows the parents to ask the questions in the book, to have their child respond to those things, but also some of the books you'll read it and then perhaps it will garner additional conversation with your child on some of these subjects.
Ah, okay, okay. Now, Andre, tell us where our listeners and viewers are able to, buy the book. Where is it sold? I imagine Amazon, where everything's sold. Is that the main place to get it?
Yes, the books are at Amazon. They're at Barnes and Noble, Books a
Oh,
Million,
okay.
and online in all of those stores. And also, the first two books are also at Walmart and Target. The second two they just came out last Friday. So eventually they will be in the major chain stores as well. But right now, they are at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Books A Million.
Now, when we come out of this, which we will, I mean, COVID-19 will end one day, hopefully soon. I imagine there's no real book readings. I mean, I used to love that, where you see someone reading in this store, which I could picture yourself reading. There's none of that now, right? But that's something hopefully next year will happen again.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I was doing a lot of book readings prior to COVID. As a matter of fact, my calendar was full because all of the local schools were calling me, and I was reading for libraries and things like that. Since COVID hit, I have been doing virtual readings with libraries. I did a lot of virtual readings over the summer, and but I really look forward to getting back into in front of the children at schools and at different things like that, and book signings. That was also a lot of fun to do and to have readings with the children. So yes, hopefully
Nice.
won't be too long and we'll be back to that.
Right. All right. Andre Ginnane, thank you for coming out and sharing this great character, Sal. I'm looking forward to getting it from my son. Can you get it on Kindle at all?
Not available on Kindle just yet.
Okay, because I
Not
was trying
available.
getting it earlier on Kindle, but I'm going to go to
Mhm.
Barnes and Noble and get it. There's 4 of them out now.
Yes, there are 4 of them out. Yes, yes,
Okay.
4 of them out. And again, Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Books A Million have all of them. And then the first 2 are also at Walmart and Target online.
This is Ray
Yes,
K. That is Andre Ginnane, The Adventures of Sal. Catch you next
thank
time.
you.
Thank you for tuning into this episode of New HD NYC. Please remember to rate, review, and subscribe to our show on your favorite podcast platform.